This is my 63rd rally, and I drove here from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. It's quite a distance, about 325 miles.
Why all of this passion for Donald Trump?
Well, two things. These rallies, this is the greatest show on earth, the Trump rally. I mean, Donald Trump is our first rock star superhero president. I mean, he's like the real life Tony Stark. They should call him President Iron Man. There's nothing like a Trump rally. I mean, it's amazingly entertaining.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and TYT Reports interviewed the first guy in line at a New Jersey Trump rally. The Trump loon had driven over 325 miles to claim the trophy of being first in line. As each person joined in behind him, it seemed to inflate his ego.
Joe Biden has got the IQ of a sack of carrots. And Kamala Harris is like just a stupid like frat girl. They're both two idiots. They are sock puppets. It's the goose that lays the golden egg. It's absolute corruption. That's why Donald Trump is so hated. He came to Washington, D.C.
Because he's not corrupt?
Well, yeah, he came to Washington, D.C. when he was first elected president. I don't know what's in his mind. I don't think he expected it. What the fact is, they say we should revere that. They say we should revere that Capitol building. I don't. What that Capitol building is in D.C., it's the largest brothel in the world. With few exceptions, most of the representatives in there are whores, and they're whoring themselves out to communist China.
We've seen these types of characters in our daily lives. They always have to be first no matter what. They cut you off in traffic and give you the middle finger salute. These people suffer from delusional thinking about their own self-worth and always think life is a competition. We've all had to be around them at one point or another.
All I can say is the big picture. When Trump was president, the economy was doing pretty damn well, and I slept easy at night. We were at peace. Now, I'm close to retirement. I wanted to retire early. I'm 64. I can't because all the money. Look, to keep ends met, I have had to like dip into my savings, and I've got a third less than I have now of the savings I had, and the dollar is worth less and less. I can't stop working now, and I think our country is in danger of dying.
When given the opportunity to cheese it up in front of the camera, this Jacqueline jumped at the chance. This is where the Trump derangement brainwashing can be seen clearly in its cult members. All of a sudden, this clown is a genius and an expert on things that he has no clue about. The bubbly crackpot was asked why he was so on fire for Trump. Instead of saying that he was at the rally because of something good that Trump had done, he launched into a manic episode and compared Donald Trump to a rock star and a superhero.
As a friend of mine who was in an agency in the government that I shouldn't talk about once said to me, he said, you know, we got to remember, this country's in trouble. He said, we have to remember, Christmas Day, 1991, we woke up and the Soviet Union ceased to exist. He said, it was just gone. He goes, they just folded. He goes, at the agency, we didn't even see this coming. And he goes, boom. He goes, don't think this great nation can't disappear in the blink of an eye with the wrong people in charge. And he goes, my God, we got the wrong people in charge right now.
This exposes the fact that Donald Trump's followers don't care about what he thinks. They only care about how he makes them feel inside. Can you even imagine being so hollow that you find comfort in empty promises and outright lies? That's sad. People can be so full of themselves because in truth, they're hollow inside.
We won, in the last time, 50 states. Think of it, 50 states. We won every state.
By most accounts, the delusions from Donald Trump are intensifying.
You'd have millions of people alive right now if the election wasn't rigged. They'd be alive. Ukraine, Israel, the attack would have never been made. All these people would be alive. The cities would be thriving.
Trump, since he left the White House, and this is really the theme of my book, has become more detached from reality than he ever was even in the White House. Trump has become also increasingly confused about things. Sometimes he thinks that he lost to Obama in the last election. He confuses basic facts.
The country was very divided. And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. The only place I don't have a light's up here, so that means we're going to have to wing it tonight, okay?
And never mind the occasional slurring of words and cognitive decline, Trump is ratcheting up his threats.
He's talking about a campaign of revenge and retribution.
As president, I will be creating a truth and Reconciliation Commission to shed sunlight on every dark and rotten corner of Washington, D.C., starting with Biden.
He wants to go out and prosecute his political opponents, not just Democrats, but people that served him. John Kelly, his former chief of staff, Mattis, his former defense secretary, Bill Barr, his former attorney general.
The whole election was a lie.
He's talking about invoking the Insurrection Act on day one, using American troops on the streets of U.S. cities, something he tried to do when he was president last time, but was stopped by his own people. This would be a very radical Trump presidency, much more so than even the first one.
A few of Trump's Republican opponents, including Chris Christie, are sounding the alarm. But Trump is simply responding with name-calling and ridicule.
When Christie, sir, I'm sorry, he is not a fat pig, okay, this man? I'm saying, he is not a fat pig. No, it's true. And you can't use the term fat.
But despite Trump's childish style, threats, and detachment from reality, there is this.
Perhaps even more stunning, this poll in the New York Times this morning showing Donald Trump leading Joe Biden in 5 of the 6 key battleground states, including some rather large leads in Nevada and Arizona.
That's right. According to the latest polls, if a Biden-Trump election were held today, Donald Trump would win. He is slightly ahead of Biden in national polling, and Trump is significantly ahead in key battleground states. Most voters don't seem to care so much about Trump's 4 criminal cases and 91 felony counts. Instead, they are bothered by what they view as the country's direction under President Biden. And only 27% of the electorate say under Biden the country is headed in the right direction. There are other issues for Biden in terms of his age and voter perceptions about his abilities. But the bottom line is that for Democrats, in a general election matchup against Donald Trump, one of the most controversial and arguably criminal presidents in U.S. history, the Democrats under Joe Biden are in trouble. So now what? Should Democrats dismiss the polling? Should they count on voters coming to their senses and realizing that democracy is on the chopping block with Donald Trump? Well, in my view, the time has come for Democrats to break the glass on the emergency fire alarm and find another, younger, more vibrant, and more energetic candidate to save this country from Trump. Let me be clear, I like Joe Biden. I think he's a good man and a compelling and empathetic leader. He deserves hero status and the nation's eternal gratitude for defeating Donald Trump in 2020. Also, Joe Biden has created twice as many jobs in his term as Donald Trump created. Biden has led the largest U.S. economic expansion in 50 years. But you know who never seems to talk about job creation or the economy? President Biden. He now seems incapable of selling his achievements and successes against the outrageous lies and fiction coming from Donald Trump. And so the time has come to convince Joe Biden that he should go into the history books as our nation's savior by getting out of the 2024 race and by not going down as the candidate who lost the presidency and lost our democracy to Donald Trump. If California Governor Gavin Newsom or Vice President Kamala Harris or Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg or Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer loses to Donald Trump in a general election, well, at least Democrats would know that the party did everything it could to have a competitive nomination battle and field the strongest Democrat against Donald Trump. But Democrats should agree now that Joe Biden is not the strongest potential Trump opponent, and Democrats need to embrace a change before it's too late.